What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I got to have a conversation with you guys about Henley because you see how the sun is hitting me? This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Henley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people, and I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self-care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now, and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Henley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Henley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What's going on, friends and family? 2 days in a row, 3 streams per day. That's what we've been doing over the last couple days because we grinding, we hustling, we going to get it. What's up, family? How y'all feeling today? Y'all feeling good? Y'all feeling great? Facts, Adam. Shout out to Adam. What's up, y'all? How y'all feeling today? I enjoyed the show yesterday. I genuinely enjoyed the show yesterday. It was cool. It was chill, man. We had a lot of conversations. It kind of reminded me of After Hours instead of the Q show because we started derailing a little bit, but it started going into different parts of the conversation, homeschooling, all of that stuff. So it was pretty cool, man. What's up, Kay Cooper, Jesse, Tam, Donnie, Chris Cunningham, AJ Wise, Osriel, your car in the building. Gustav, shout out to you. AR, Joe Gunn, Terrible People Podcast. Hey. The Patreon live stream was lit yesterday. We did the Patreon live stream shortly after we had got off the Millionaire Morning Show. We kind of got off the Millionaire Morning Show a little bit early so that we can get into the Patreon live stream. It was lit. It was lit. I gave y'all a whole lot of information. A whole lot of information was on the Patreon live stream. It was a lot. It was a lot. I brought out a lot of receipts. I showed y'all what was happening behind the scenes. I gave y'all the tips and tricks on how to run up a bag. Man, if y'all not taking advantage of that, that's crazy. That is absolutely insane. Yes, Chris Cunningham, you do have to rewatch it. If people are not taking advantage of that type of information, I showed y'all what I make. I showed y'all how I make it. I told y'all what I generate. Show all the receipts. It's crazy. It is absolutely insane. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. It's crazy the amount of information that y'all got. I answered all of the questions inside of the chat. A lot of people was asking a lot of questions when it comes to content creation. It's crazy, bro. Insane. So today I'll group it up together to make sure that y'all can just go through straight as a playlist. I'll put it all in a playlist as far as like all of the content creation, the block club stuff. No. The block club. I'm gonna make sure that all of the playlists is what they're supposed to be. You can get the vlogs, and the vlogs is in a playlist. Stock club is in a playlist. Block club is in a playlist. Content creation is gonna be in a playlist. And then I'm gonna make sure that we get it popping for the next stock club. Stock club is up next. I'm dropping a vlog this weekend, and then stock club is up next. I think we're doing stock club on Monday. It's crazy, bro. It is absolutely crazy. So if you want to make money, if you want to get to the bag, if you want to leverage this stuff to market yourself effectively, then make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. All right. Let me read a couple of these cash apps. See what's happening in these streets. I want to give a shout out to Mike That Dude. What up, Mike That Dude? I appreciate you. Yeah, you're welcome, bro. You're welcome, Mike. Also want to shout out TS Car Wash and Detail Service. Says Ryan versus Shakur. You like that fight? I don't know, man. I just think that boxing is kind of boring right now. I think that the last really good fight that I really enjoyed was the Bud Crawford's fights. I know Ryan just fought. Cool. I'm not really. Sports ain't really a thing. I know they started billing me for the Pistons already. Let me look at my invoice. I know they sent me an email saying, "Yeah, we about to start billing you." Let me see. Pistons. Yep, they just sent it in. They said I auto-renewed. They sure did. Beat up on OKC yesterday. And then they sent me a thing saying that I auto-renewed for the Pistons. So congratulations, Anton. You're currently enrolled in auto-renewal. And your first payment is coming out yesterday. What? Okay. All right. Lakers raise their tickets prices at least 45% for next season? No way. Shout out to TS Car Wash and Detail Services. Rest in peace to the great Oliver Power Grant W founder. We got a hell of a show lined up for you guys today too. Them playoff tickets, a different price. Yeah, they I don't know why they doing it so early, because we gotta listen. Let me tell you something. It's expensive being part of the game. All right, it's not only do they bill you for next year, which is like $110,000, and they're gonna start billing me for playoffs. Let me see something. Team tickets, my Pistons account. I'm gonna go and check out the Lakers in a second. We got time. I think that's my account. All right, let's do this one. I don't be knowing my passwords. It's too many passwords. Let's see. Invoices. Is that what I would go to? Invoices. Yep. They certainly billed me. They definitely hit me already. Yep, they hit me. So I owe $99,000. Oh, what up, Onaka? This shit is insane, bro. It is insane. Let me see what's going on with the Lakers. Lakers season ticket price increase. Wow, this is crazy. Lakers plan a major price hikes for tickets in 2026 and 2027. This is according to ESPN. First sign of the new Lakers owner, Mark Walters, seeking a return on his investment after purchasing a franchise for $10 billion valuation, became apparent this week when the team sent out renewal forms for season ticket holders. Going into the 26-27 season, the Lakers have a steep price hike plan for their tickets. Online basketball personality Rob Perez detailed what it will cost him on a post on X on Friday, writing that there will be a 14% increase on the cost of the seats in his section, and the team will tack on an additional 3. See, this is robbery. This ain't nothing but robbery. I'm going to put on a 3% administration fee if the invoice is not paid in full at the start. What? So wait. You going to penalize me because if my stuff is not paid in full at the start? Another longtime season ticket holder with the seats in the 300 level contacted ESPN to show documentation of an even more exorbitant price increase to keep his tickets. Season ticket holder in a 300 level had the price for his seats jump from $6,000 in 2025 to $9,000. That's almost 100% from 2024, 2025. Good gosh. They said this is what the Lakers said, we are adjusting season ticket pricing for next season. Updates reflect the current market and landscape and the demand. Oh my gosh. They've had a 99%, but see, that's why they do it, is because they got leverage. They got leverage. And so what happens when you got leverage and you in a big market like that, you tax. You tax. That is insane, bro. You tax 45% increase. Now, you can't look at it from the lens of, well, it went from $5,000 and $10,000 to $9,000 a year. You can't go by that. That's crazy. I can only imagine what the courtside tickets look like. What do y'all think the courtside tickets look like? Another one of Walter's professional sports teams in LA, the Dodgers, set a franchise record. See, this is why. This is why. It's because the people in LA, they like pain. Lakers ticket price increases were announced on the heels of longtime president of business operations Tim Harris announcing that he will step down at the end of the season. Well, y'all got to pay for Luka Doncic. That's why they always want a star. And you got to pay for Luka. That's insane. Let me go to X. Lakers season. Man. This is crazy, bro. But see, look, this is the sentiment of a lot of people right here. I'm a lifelong Lakers fan, spent 9 years on the season ticket wait list. Finally got my tickets this year. Bad seats, but I was happy to just be in the building and just got noticed that the cost of my seats is going up almost 50%. I don't think I can afford to keep them. This is crazy, bro. This is absolutely insane. Ain't no way in the world. They had a 9-year waiting list for Lakers tickets when y'all can go right up the street and go into the Clippers new arena. Crypto Arena ain't even as good as the new Clippers. That's why people become Clippers fans. People become Clippers fans because the Lakers is too expensive. And they say that the Clippers arena is sick. They say that it's like interactive seats, all that type of stuff or whatever. They say the Clippers is sick. That's crazy. Rob Perez says, this is the email that he got. 5 month, they put you on 5 month and 9 month payment plans were available for previous season without a percentage penalty. And that's usually how they do it. And the reason that they do that is, and the reason why almost every single person, the only people that don't get on plans are corporate holders. So if you look at the majority of the seats that's on the floor, right, unless you got Spike Lee seats or something like that over in New York or something, if you look at most of the seats that's on the floor, all of those seats is pretty much owned by some kind of corporate entity. 98%, 99% of every single seat that is on the floor is owned by a corporation, right? And so it could be a sponsor. Like I know over in Detroit, some of them is owned by Rocket Mortgage. Others is owned by StockX. And so most of those seats that's on the floor, and if you talk to any of the coaches, if you talk to any of the representatives, what they look for is people that actually own their seats as individuals, right? Same as the boxes. So for the regular people, for the regular everyday people like myself, that's just truly fans of basketball, I feel like they're trying to price y'all out. They're trying to price you out, right? You taking somebody, to what's a good hotel close to the arena? It's a lot of them. The Shinola Hotel is dope. MGM Grand is dope. You could just pick a hotel downtown. It's so many dope hotels downtown right now. They just built a bunch of new ones. They got a brand new JW Marriott that's going to be attached to the Huntington Place, which used to be Cobo Arena. So, but for regular everyday basketball fans that love basketball, they price them out. They pricing them out. And that's why people are starting to revolt on what's happening in basketball. If you're going over to LA, for example, a lot of what's happening in Los Angeles is, I like to say, it's the clout chasing capital of the world. The reason why Los Angeles is the clout chasing capital of the world is because most of the people there are there to be seen. They're not there because they truly a basketball fan. Most of the people that are there to be seen. They're not there to be a basketball fan. And so it now costs you too much money, and they're able to do that, right? They're able to leverage that to get more money out of people because people are paying the price. And so you can hear what my man said. He said, listen, I got horrible seats. He said, I got bad seats, but I was happy to just be in the building. And he was on a 9-year waiting list. A 9-year waiting list just to get bad seats and to be sitting in the building. Crazy, bro. Absolutely insane. I didn't even know that people be trying to sell their tickets on X. And when I go to Los Angeles, I usually stay right there. At the JW, or I'll stay at the I think it's the Ritz. They're both the same hotel. So this is crazy, bro. But see, that's the Sphere. Laker tickets finna be 5,000 a pop. Let me see something. Cost of Lakers court side seats. Lakers courtside seats at crypto generally range to 5,500 to over 15,000 per ticket for regular season games, with high-profile matchups exceeding 20,000 to 25,000 to 20 to 25,000. With premier games sometimes reaching 40,000 or more, while preseason games could be typically cheaper. Premium games such as the Celtics and the Warriors can reach 20,000. Now, think about it like this. Now, imagine you get these additional, whatever, on Ticketmaster for the resale tickets and stuff like that. And then one of the stars don't show up. Steph say, you know what, I'm injured. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander say, you know what, I'm sitting out this game because my thumb hurt. Anthony Davis don't necessarily, he always injured. You know what I'm saying? You're not even getting your money's worth, bro. This is crazy, man. This is absolutely insane. I think after next year, I say this shit every year. After next year, I think I'm going to start protesting. I think I'm out. Last time you flew out to LA, you stepped on a needle. Did you get that checked out? After next year, I think I'm about to just go ahead and call it a day. Ain't no way in the world that we should be paying this type of money, bro. I don't like it. I don't like it. Very first NBA game you went to, the Stars sat out. I don't like it, bro. I genuinely don't like it. And I'm going to be honest with you. I went to a G League game, and they were more strenuous than me going to the regular NBA game. When I go to the NBA game, they let me vlog. They let me do whatever it is that I want to do. I went to a G League game. They start tapping me on the shoulder. Excuse me, do you have credentials to be able to vlog in here? I was looking. I was the only person sitting on the floor. Yeah, I went to a Motor City Cruise game. They was playing at the Wayne State. They was playing at Wayne State's arena. And I'm the only person sitting on the floor. And so I'm sitting on the floor, and I'm like, yeah, you know me. I'm going to always vlog. So, yeah, man. So I'm sitting here, whatever, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Yeah, man. And I was about to give, like, some good energy or whatever. And they tapped me on the shoulder. They said, hey, I'm sorry, sir. I said, what's going on, man? I started to ask the nigga, you want an autograph or something? What you tapping me for? Do you have permission to record in here? I said, I'm sorry. You got permission to record? I'm sorry. Say that one more time. What? I got up. It wasn't even halftime. I got up. It's like, oh no, just let me go. He said, let me go check with the media producer, like anybody is watching the fucking G League, the Motor City Cruise on G League. He said, let me go check with the media producer to see if you can vlog in here. I said, don't worry about it. I said, don't even worry about it. He said, what you mean? I said, I'm gone. Don't worry about it. Then they started trying to catch me at the door. Come on, man. I'm not about to be sitting here going back and forth with y'all. I'm out of here. Now, you can go to them teams. I was on the floor for, $80 or some crap like that. I don't even remember how much I paid for the seats. But the point is that I think that the sports games are pretty much pricing everybody out. The only games that I believe, unless you're a diehard fan, the only games that I think that are worth going to see is baseball and hockey at this point. Hockey games are worth the price of admission because it's not a lot to get in. And Not only is it not a lot to get in, and they give you really good energy, and it's entertaining, and nobody cares about who's sitting where, and everybody just having a good time. Everybody just having a good time. If you go to a baseball game, the baseball game is actually second. The experience of the baseball game itself is actually second to the experience inside of the arena. You go to a baseball game, you can go get baseball games for $15, $20 still. You walking around, it's the bratwurst and the popcorn and the experience and just talking and the beers and all of this stuff. And you can actually go in the daytime. So you can go to the baseball game at 1:30 p.m. You can go at 5 p.m., still have the rest of your day. This is one of my things that I usually do. I usually actually go to in the summertime, once the Tigers start playing, like let's say for example, I live stream from 10 to 1, right? 10 a.m. Eastern to 1 p.m. I'll actually leave, catch the bus, and go to a baseball game and just be hanging out. Sometimes I meet my friends there. Sometimes I meet my homies there from high school, and we go and we drink and we have a good time. I don't vlog it. I don't bring no cameras. I don't do none of that. I don't take no pictures. I just be out having a good time, walking, kicking it, and we just chilling downtown. We hang out. We go to the baseball game from 1 to like hang out, maybe do a little bit of after tailgating from 1 to 4 or 5 or something like that. You got the rest of your day. You got the rest of your day. Baseball games in the daytime is peak, is dope, bro. It's a summertime. You pay $20 to get into the door. You having a good time. You chilling with the homies. Everybody having a good time or whatever. And we just chilling. We're just chilling. You walk around. You go to Greek Town afterwards or something like that. It's a vibe. That's why I say that people need to touch grass, bro. That's why I say people need to touch grass, because people are so caught up in this internet world that they don't even really know what it means to actually go outside and still have experiences. Everything is online. Everything is fucking FanDuel and betting online and all of that stuff. People don't actually go outside and experience things. Or one more thing. Oh my God. Soccer games, bro. Soccer games in the summertime. Hit. That's another one of my favorite things to do. I go to Detroit, this Detroit City FC. I hit soccer games and don't nobody care about you. Ain't nobody caring about what's happening online. Don't nobody care about no pictures, which I don't care about taking pictures. I love pictures, but don't nobody care. Everybody just out there. Yes. It's crazy. It's crazy. So, yeah, man, you go to the football games, you go to the basketball games. It's you got to be on the Jumbotron, all of that shit. You go to the soccer game, you go to the baseball games and all of that. Don't nobody care. Everybody's just having a good time, bro. You just having a good time. All right. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me read some of these super chats, so we're going to get it popping. Shout out to J Ben. Says, I see what you're saying by selling out his lane. KB Lane just sold his likeness to AI. Really? You talking about the dude that don't talk? Sold his likeness to AI. Is weird selling out to the robot Matrix. Shaking my head. TS Car Wash and Detail Services. AD Jokic MVP. If he can hit that 65 game mark. Jokic is not the MVP. He's not the MVP. It's Cade. Cade Cunningham is the MVP. Adam says, I put my baby bros on your content. They rock with you heavy. Adding to the chaser count. Her one of recommending you to their coworker this AM when I something them for the B at this AM. Chase up. Shout out to the bag chasers. Shout out to the Patreon members. Go and get that money. We did a lot Patreon live stream. I re-uploaded it for the people. Shout out Adam the Logical One. Shout out Adam the Logical One. I love that, bro. Thank you, man. Thank you for putting people up on it. Share this with your friends and family. TS Car Wash and Detail Service says, yeah, Shannon talked about the Lakers price hike. It's crazy. I think it's insane. I think they're pricing out all of the real fans. TS Car Wash and Detail Service says, Yeah, once Bron gone, they still got Luka. They always had a star player. I Am Super Mario says, 80, you need to review the Blackout Wednesday from Earn Your Leisure. They had Aisha Diaz given the game, and we need your takes ASAP. Prep yourself. Who was Aisha Diaz? Y'all always derailing me. Aisha Diaz.
Can you trust somebody that doesn't take care of their kids?
I don't trust no man on earth that does not take care of their children.
Stations that I think is interesting to have, but first and foremost, thank you for joining.
But you wouldn't understand it unless you actually work it, how easy it is and how often it actually happens. It's not like one time a year. It's very often that $30, $40, $60,000 is being spent at particular one bar. And
can you walk us through how this works? Because I think a lot of people, this is a New York thing, really, because a lot of people are familiar with strip club culture where people.
All right, I'll get to that at another time. I'm not going to get into it now. Maybe we'll get into it. I'll skim through it, and then maybe we'll talk about it on after hours tonight, or maybe I'll do a review video or something like that. Interesting. I didn't know who she was. I never knew her before. Fi Brown said Shannon Sharp said on Nightcap back in 2023 he paid $300,000 for courtside seats and barely went to the game, so he regretted his purchase. Where was he at? Where did he pay for him? TS Car Wash and Detail Service says, yeah, diehard fans or regular fans ain't got no chance. AD, when you was in Cali, you should have went to a Clipper game. They didn't have nothing popping off at the time. Actually, when I went to Cali, this is what happened when I went out to California the last time, when I went on the comedian show. I was supposed to go on Adam 22 the week before, like that Friday or Thursday or something like that. Adam had been preparing for a fight, and he had got sick, and so he was in the hospital. So we wound up rescheduling. And in between there, right, I had the weekend. I had like 3 or 4 days. And then Corey's show was on Tuesday. The comedian show was on Tuesday. So I went to LA, hung out there for a couple days. We had to reschedule that. So I flew out to Vegas. I took a quick flight out to Vegas. And I stayed in Vegas, and I was partying in Vegas until that Tuesday. That Tuesday, was it the Tuesday or the Monday? That Tuesday, I flew in that day from Vegas. And then, I did that. And then I stayed, and I did the Millionaire Morning Show the next morning. And then we went from there. So that's kind of how I went. I didn't stay in LA over the weekend. I like Vegas more. T.S. Carwatt, Jack Nicholson talked about the price hike. Aaron Lucas says the Bus family came up big. They got $10 billion from selling their stake and still retain 15% of the franchise. Let me see what else is going on. 392Q says LeBron saying he's actively buying a team for Las Vegas when he retire. What do you think about that? I don't think that LeBron can afford a team by himself. He probably going to partner with some people. Courtney Egger Show says, what up, AD? That Patreon live was dope. That insight helped a lot. Jason Statham says, meanwhile, Jack Hughes scored the winning goal after getting his front tooth knocked out with a high stick to the face. Would never buy in the LeBron era. Shout out to Jason. TS Car Wash and Detail Services. I've been to F1, Kentucky Derby, and NASCAR. Yeah, I've never been to the Kentucky Derby or NASCAR. I've been to an F1 race. I've never been to the Kentucky Derby or NASCAR. Shin C says, you ever caught anyone sneaking a video of you while you were out and about? All the time. All the time. You see this all the time. I don't give a fuck, though. It is what it is. I mean, it's a part of the game. That's just what happens. Jokic averaged a triple-double. Stop it, big dog, says TS Car Wash and Detail Service. You saw what Dr. Bryant said, Justin Pod. Check that out. No, listen, y'all just got to send it to me. I don't know what she said. I don't check for Dr. Bryant. I don't even know if Dr. Bryant is a doctor. I don't know anything about this chick, bro. I don't even know how she got famous. She seemed like a plant to me, to be honest with you. Because it's like, where did she come from and how did she just start? Like, what? You just did an interview all of a sudden and you just blew up, and what made you people even ask you for an interview? Bob Brown, and again, I don't know, man. Get your money, but I don't know. I don't even know how she got popular. Bob Brown says Shannon Sharp had Lakers tickets for half the season. Half the season? I paid $300,000. My bad, should have specified. Please cancel yours. Wait, no. That can't be true. That can't be true because you can only buy half seasons outside of courtside. Courtside season tickets. Now, maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's just with my arena. But I thought that when you get courtside seats, you got to buy the full season or nothing. You can't just buy half a season. I could be wrong, though. J-Ben says, when we starting the Yo-Ho choosing 2 tour. Spring 26, J-Ben. Rob Brown says, God bless you for giving the content game to smaller creators. You told us to stay consistent and focused. And because of your knowledge, I hit 5,000 subs and my first 100,000 video. May God continue to bless you and keep you. Shout out to Rob Brown. Congratulations. I give the game on Patreon. I'm not a gatekeeper. I give the game on Patreon. Rob Brown, shout out to you for being a chaser. And congratulations on your first 100,000 video and 5K subs. Yeah. Shout out to you, Rob Brown. Congratulations. And thank you. All right. Let me see what's happening out here. What else is popping off? Let me see what we got lined up for the show today. Kamala Harris talked about Trump's speech. We got to go with J.B. Pritzker. Somebody said I got to cover Bill Gates. Do I have to? All right, hold on. Let me put this shape up here. Because I was thinking about covering it yesterday, and I just didn't want to. So
turned out a Microsoft founder Bill Gates his eye-opening apology for his relationship with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. In a town hall meeting with employees, Gates admitting to 2 affairs with Russian women and what he says about the photos of him in the Epstein files. Here's Pierre Thomas.
Tonight, Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates revealing more damaging information about his personal life and admitting to a series of stunning lapses in judgment in building a relationship with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Today, the fallout growing as Gates was pressed by employees at a Gates Foundation town hall. According to the Wall Street Journal, which revealed audio of the meeting, Gates told employees it was a huge mistake to spend time with Epstein. He acknowledged that his relationship with Epstein began after Epstein was convicted of soliciting a minor, and he claimed that he, one of the wealthiest men in the world, did not properly research Epstein's background that would have revealed his sordid past. Knowing what I know now makes it, 100 times worse. Gates acknowledged his association probably helped Epstein rehabilitate his image, and he revealed other damning specifics, saying the men flew together on a private jet and that they hung out in Germany, France, New York, and Washington. But Gates was adamant that he never witnessed any criminal activity. But Gates did acknowledge he had affairs with 2 Russian women. And Gates also addressed these photos, saying there were pictures Epstein asked him to take with his assistants. His ex-wife recently saying Gates needs to answer questions.
Those questions are for those people and for even my ex-husband. They need to answer to those things, not me.
Well,
and I am so happy to be away from all the muck.
David Gates' indiscretions contributed to the failure of his marriage. And tonight, another powerful man suffering the consequences of his ties to Epstein. Former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers, resigning from Harvard, because of his relationship with Epstein.
Wait a minute. So they say that he took a trip to where?
100 times worse. Gates acknowledged his association probably helped Epstein rehabilitate his image, and he revealed other damning specifics, saying the men flew together on a private jet and that they hung out in Germany, France, New York, and Washington. But Gates was adamant that he never witnessed out in Germany, France, New York, and Washington.
Bro, y'all was in Germany, France, New York, and Washington. Y'all was homies. Bro, you know how hard it is probably to get close to Bill Gates and then to give him a phone call. Hey, fam, I'm about to be in Germany. You want to come through? And we could just take the same plane together. We chilling. Hey, bro, I'm about to head over to France. You coming through, bro? Hey, I got to get back to New York from France, man. Let's just take your jet. You want to take your jet or you want to take my jet? I got to head back to Washington and see what's happening over there. They was hanging, bro, because I would imagine that Bill Gates is probably one of the most difficult people to get next to. Now, I don't really give a fuck about him messing around with two Russian baddies. That don't mean nothing to me.
But Gates was adamant that he never witnessed any criminal activity.
That don't mean anything to me. And let me say something, bro. Let me say something. I don't believe that Bill Gates didn't vet Jeffrey Epstein. Get the heck out of here, bro. Get the heck out of here. So you don't know or you didn't know. You don't know or you didn't know that dog, everybody knew but you. You didn't know that dog had ties and was getting caught up in some nonsense. Come on, man. Stop it, bro. Stop it. You can't be having nobody on your jet and thinking that ain't. Come on. I don't even know who jet they took. Did they take his jet or they take the other guy's jet? Come on, bro. Stop. Now, here's probably the thing. He just never probably thought that he was going to get caught up in the BS. Probably never thought that he was going to get caught up in the BS. I ain't tripping over the fact that he got one of them couple different Russian models. I think he's earned a couple Russian models. Now, the thing is, well, maybe he didn't know. Maybe he didn't know, bro. Maybe he didn't know. I know that this is the unpopular thing to say right now, but I believe him. And I'm going to tell you why. I believe him. I believe him. I know that y'all don't believe him. I believe him. I'm going to add this in the after hours tonight as I want to get the other people's opinion on this. Okay. Apology. You know why I believe him, Chad? Cameron says, ain't no way, AD. Why ain't no way? Yakar, I believe him. I believe him. You know why I believe him? You know why I don't believe that he vetted him? I got you, Tone. I'm going to read that shortly. Now, Sierra is saying he literally created our modern computer software but didn't know who he was hanging out with. Let me tell you why I believe him. Because the nigga got an STD from two Russian hotties. He went raw with the hoes. Bill Gates wasn't thinking. He wasn't in his right mind. He been doing computer work and in Microsoft and running Microsoft and dealing with this chick and raising kids and fighting accusations and stuff like that. He wasn't thinking. He wasn't even focused on none of that junk at that moment. Bro, think about it. He could have got anybody in the world. He could have got people tested and all of that. This is one of the richest men in the world, billionaire. He went raw in two Russian hotties and got a venereal disease. And then he brought that shit home. He went home and bust his chick and bust his wife down. He went home and bust his chick down. He ain't focused right now. I believe him. Think about, look at the chain of events. He went raw with 2 Russian chicks that he didn't know. Nobody vetted him. He asked for their my chart. And if Bill Gates can get caught up, I think we need to start giving grace to all men. If Billy Boy is getting caught up, we need to start really extending grace. This is how, listen, ladies, now this is what I'm telling y'all. This is the whole idea of boxolitis. You don't think, you know how they got the Snickers commercial? You don't think when you're hungry. That's the same thing when it comes to box. You don't think when it comes to box. Think about it. This nigga was with 2 hoes at the same time. He was probably doing all kind of freaky shit. He probably got his ass ate, toes curled, probably had one on his face, one on his waist. He was out there having a good time. And I don't believe that that's the only thing he did. I think that's the only thing he got caught with. That ain't the only thing he did. That's the only thing he got caught of. He probably was used to 2 at a time. Hey, 2 bad bitches at the same damn time. This nigga, he Future. That's Future right there. That's Future Gates. That ain't Bill Gates. That's Future Gates. I'm telling you the real. He probably did all kind of freaky shit. You know, these old white men, they be into some freaky shit. He probably was watching a black man have one. He had one. He was doing all kind of junk, right? He living his best life. He said, you know what? Let me get my life together. I hope these hoes ain't give me nothing. Bill Gates is a regular person like everybody else. We think that just because they was the modern computer inventor and he had Microsoft and that he got a billionaire, nah, he regular like everybody else. He get boxolitis like everybody else. He get blinded by the hoes like everybody else. He do the same thing that everybody else do. I'm shooting him some bail and that he probably didn't know because he think just like every other nigga. At the end of the day, he ain't no different. He just got glasses and he had a computer and he got a good idea. He wound up getting $1 billion. You think that he was thinking about, oh man, dog, I got my homie over here. We flying on the jet. You think when I used to do my Wednesday show, I was thinking to myself, man, this nigga, he's a snake. He's a snake. You think that that's what I was thinking? When the nigga was all over, oh man, you greatest of all time, man, I rode with you. You my boy. No, they come in all different shapes and sizes. The point that I'm making is that I don't think that Bill was doing anything that anybody else didn't do. He got caught up. He got caught up like everybody else. What's the difference? He was blinded. Nigga been working in computers his entire life. He been focused his entire life. I reviewed the interview with the chick. Well, what did you expect the wife to say? She got an STD, and she found out the nigga was hanging out with Epstein. I don't think she would have left just with the STD alone. I believe that she left because of the expose what came with Epstein. I don't think that she left because of the STD. At all. At all. I don't think it had nothing to do with no STD whatsoever. But the fact that he couldn't even tell her and he tried to slip her a little STD fix, Come on, man. You should be able to say that, bro. You a fucking billionaire. Hey, babe, listen. I got caught up with 2 bad Russians at the same damn time. You got to give me. I mean, I fucking invented software for the modern computer. You got to give me a little bit of rope. Damn. If Bill can't get a little bit of grace and he invented the fucking software, Microsoft software, and gave us computers and allowed for us to be able to talk to each other on the internet, that's the whole reason why we're here today. If Bill can't get no grace, what hope is it for everybody else out there? What hope is it for Bill? I think the only reason she left is because of the Epstein shit came out. That's it. That's it. I could be wrong though. Make sure y'all hit a like for the make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Good gosh. Let me read y'all super chats. I know y'all showing me love in the chat. We gonna get there. Shout out to Tone Reacts in the building. I appreciate you. Tone says, what up, though? Thanks for the content. Game, big information. Big ups to you, bro. Bag chasers, we up. Hey, how many bag chasers we got right now? What's going on? They out here getting 86 more subscribers on their shit. What are we talking about on the bag chasers? Because that was a crazy live stream last night. It was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. Yo, we're about to be at 21-1. About to be at 21-1. Shout out to the new bag chasers. We got 561 new members. Yeah. Shout out to the chasers because we give real valuable information. Yo, having more Patreon members than niggas got subscribers is crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Chance Talks Business says Bill should use the McAfee antivirus. Shout out to you. I appreciate you, Chance Talks Business. TS Car Wash and Detail Service says, I sent you the video about Dr. Brian. Check it out. I would love your thoughts on it. All right, we'll add it in. I'll add it into the live stream tonight. We'll talk about it on After Hours. Be a Man Podcast says this proves that Epstein knew way too much. He did. Papa Nea Shelley says these are the tales. These are the tales, the freaky tales. These are the tales that I tell so well. If you don't like my dope raps, you can go to hell. Shout out to my flipper friends out here. Says Anton, thanks for the Patreon knowledge yesterday. I'll be implementing everything you taught us. If you want to be better at content, join the Patreon. Yo, join the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Yo, you know what I'm saying? Brian the filmmaker says, well, nah, we chilling. We chilling. We ain't on that. We ain't on that. Country Boy Finesse says, I remastered the Bag Chaser anthem song for you. Shout out to my dog, Country Boy Finesse. We're in the building. All right, y'all. Y'all ready? Y'all ready to get it popping? Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. If you're ready to get this money, then let's get this money. AD, did you ever review the video of a worship pastor that killed his wife? No, send it to me real quick. I'll check it out. Email it to me real quick. Dresden says, Trump said you can get loud, get mad, hit the joint, but don't forget my point. Facts. Shout out to the chasers. And I appreciate you for the 20 ball. What are we talking about? Let's get into this real stuff. Let's get into something for real. I heard Kamala Harris had a the union. What does she talk about it all? The Parnas perspective. Let me see.
For fear of what?
The Parnas perspective. What is all these weird platforms? I ain't never heard a lot of this stuff.
If the 2024 election went a different way, last night the country would have heard from President Kamala Harris. Instead, the country heard from President Donald Trump. Today, I sat down with Vice President Harris to reflect on the 2024 reaction to last night's State of the Union address from the President of the United States. Did you watch it? What did you think?
I watched it. It was full of lies. And, you know, when he wasn't lying, it reminded me of our kids going to show and tell at school. It was nothing that was true about really how the American people right now, so many are suffering under the weight of high prices, unaffordable healthcare, unaffordable housing. And it was, you know, we've come to expect it. And, you know, some people have said it was really quite boring and that there was nothing very interesting about it because it was the same old, same old.
Wait a minute. Kamala Harris is not sitting here saying that the State of the Union, which everybody reacted to, and we don't even remember Biden even giving a State of the Union, is Kamala Harris sitting here seriously saying that it was boring? Come on, fam. Come on. Stop. Does anybody remember any of Biden's State of the Union addresses? I remember Trump's from the previous time. I remember this time. Does anybody remember Biden's State of the Union address? Come on, fam. Stop, bro. Is she going to be running for anything in the future? Can y'all imagine if Kamala Harris had gave the State of the Union and if she had been, you know, that is like, I woke up in a cold sweat last night and I was thinking to myself, I said, oh man, I can go back to sleep. I thought for a minute that Kamala Harris was president of the United States of America.
The guy lying about what he intends to do, what he has done, and the state of our economy and the state of the world.
I got to ask you, he said that the State of the Union is strong. Do you agree?
Absolutely not. Let me tell you, Aaron, I've been traveling our country, you know, and in particular, I've been spending a lot of time in the South. Let me tell you, I was recently in Mississippi. I went grocery shopping with a mother of 3 children who has a weekly family food budget for the 4 of them of $150. We were at a discount grocery store and she basically let me know that anything that was in the cart was going to be for her kids. I asked her, well, what is for you? And she said, whatever they don't eat. And this is when she started actually tearing up. Whatever they don't eat, then she'll eat.
She's definitely going to try to run for president of the United States of America. Without a doubt. Without a doubt, based off of what she's pitching and what she's saying, I believe that Kamala Harris believes that she could win and become president of the United States of America. Because nobody does this. This is the script, all right? And I don't know if y'all familiar with how politicians move. On the campaign trail and in their stories and in their speeches, they'll say, listen, I went out grocery shopping with a mother of 3 in Mississippi. And she had $150 to spend. And I asked her, well, what do you need? And she said, well, anything in the basket is for my kids. And I just eat the scraps off of Longshank's table of what's left over. She is going to run for president of the United States of America. Bet on it. Bet on it. Bet on it. I would bet on it 10 times out of 10. She is going to run for president of the United States of America. And she's probably going to pick Shapiro this time. Based off of what she's doing, she's touring the country, she's selling her book, she's pitching herself. She is definitely going to run for president of the United States of America in 2026, without a doubt.
She walked over to get bottled water because she can't drink tap water because the water is brown and toxic. This is America. I met with a parent of,
have y'all ever considered that when these people are talking that Trump has been in the office for roughly 1 year, that over the last administration, the infrastructure problems, the issues with, if there's issues with water in Mississippi, none of that stuff happened over the last year, right? That gas prices is actually lower. That interest rates are actually lower right now than during her administration. That inflation is actually lower than when she was in office. I don't know if y'all realize this, but everything that she's saying is a problem with the Biden administration, not the Trump administration.
Of children she is documented. Her children were born in the United States.
And that's a governor problem too.
And she is petrified and was telling me about women in her community who are not going to the hospital to give birth for fear of what might happen to them and their child. She also told me how her health insurance was previously $30 a month. It's gone up to $85 a month, and she's probably not going to receive health care unless it's in the emergency room. This is America. And so when this guy is up there talking about the economy is roaring and, trying to evoke images, I guess, of the roaring 20s of a day gone by, he's lying. Who's it roaring for? When you put a $1 trillion?
Let me guess. The billionaires and the millionaires that's not paying their fair share.
Cut to Medicaid. You know what Medicaid funds? Families with children, pregnant women, seniors, people with disabilities. A $1 trillion cut to Medicaid. Meanwhile, a $1 trillion tax cut for the richest people in America. That's what's happening in our country right now. So, there was entertainment value to what he did, but in terms of any substantive value to the people of America, I'd say it was lacking in every way.
Now, something else the president spoke about last night was a SAVE Act in the upcoming elections. He called on Congress to pass the SAVE Act. Is that something that you believe Congress should do?
Absolutely not.
They all on code. Democrats on code is more vigilant than the sister code. Democrats being on code is more impactful than the sister code. None of them believe that you should have ID when you go to vote. None of them.
So let's break this down on voting rights. First of all, we know that we've been seeing a pattern over decades of an explicit attempt to destroy and gut the Voting Rights Act. And that already has started to take form, including that his Supreme Court, the majority that, and he purposely selected people on the court that would destroy the Voting Rights Act. And they're about to decide on Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, which is the remaining piece that would allow people to sue if there is evidence of racial discrimination in the way that the lines are being drawn. The Supreme Court is about to get rid of Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. You look at what they did to initiate an attack on redistricting, right? Mid-decade. It's supposed to happen every decade around the census. They did it before then because they want to change the system to bend the rules and to cheat, because they are so concerned that this guy is so unpopular because he's done nothing for the American people that they're going to wholesale lose the midterms. What else have they done? The SAVE Act. You know what the SAVE Act would do? Require that people show a birth certificate or a passport to register to vote.
Let me pull it up. The SAVE Act. This bill requires individuals, this is according to congress.gov. This bill requires individuals to provide documentary proof of U.S. citizenship when registering to vote in federal elections. Specifically, the bill prohibits states from accepting and processing an application to register to vote in a federal election unless the applicant presents documentary proof of U.S. citizenship. The bill specifies documents are considered acceptable proof of U.S. citizenship, such as identification that complies with the Real ID Act of 2005 that indicates U.S. citizenship. Further, the bill prohibits states from registering an individual to vote in federal election unless at the time the individual applies to register to vote, the individual provides documentary proof of U.S. citizenship, and 2, requires states to establish an alternative process under which an applicant may submit other evidence to demonstrate U.S. citizenship. Each state must take affirmative steps on an ongoing basis to ensure that only U.S. citizens are registered to vote, which shall include establishing a program to identify individuals who are not U.S. citizens using information supplied by certain sources. Additionally, states must remove non-citizens from their official lists of eligible voters. This bill allows for a private right of action against an elected official who registers an applicant to vote in a federal election who fails to present documentary proof of U.S. citizenship. The bill establishes criminal penalties for certain offenses, including registering an applicant to vote in a federal election who fails to present documentary proof of U.S. citizenship. So I'm really trying to understand what the problem is here. Core provisions of the bill focuses on 2 main pillars: registration requirement and voter roll maintenance. This is the most significant change: documentary proof of citizenship. Most significant change: to register to vote or update an existing registration after a move or name change. You will be required to provide a physical document proving citizenship. Accepted documents typically include a U.S. passport, a birth certificate, or naturalization papers. Okay, I don't understand what the problem is. The driver's license issue. Under this act, a standard driver's license or even a real ID would generally no longer be enough to register because they do not explicitly prove citizenship status of the card itself. So basically what they're saying is that just because people get driver's licenses, because illegal migrants or people that come over here into this country that are not citizens also get driver's licenses, getting a driver's license alone or just going up and saying, hey, I'm such and such, this is what my signature is not enough to say that you are a U.S. citizen and therefore you should not believe all people just because they say that they are or they have the ability to be able to vote. You can't just say, here, I got a driver's license, I should be able to vote. It's not enough. That's not enough. So I'm trying to understand where the problem is. It's or. It's not and. It's or. U.S. passport, a birth certificate, or naturalization papers. I used to work at this place called Butco, right? A little bit after I had got laid off, I used to work at this place called Butco. And what we would do is during the 2008 crisis and when the economy was completely tanking, we went through, in order to save automakers and other companies money, we had to verify that the people that were on people's insurance were actually legally able to be on insurance, right? So basically, we required for people to provide documentation to say that, hey, either you're a dependent, right, on my taxes, or you're married to them, or you have, I forgot what all of the other requirements are. Like you have, authorization to make a decision on their behalf and all of this stuff, right? Yep. I was in Highland Park. Yep. Buttco and Highland Park. I used to go up to Buttco and Highland Park all the time, right? And so the people would have to submit either a choice of documentation. They would either have to submit within the past 2 years a 1040, which was the easiest thing. You can block out all of the social security numbers. You can block out the numbers. You would have to send a proof of a 1040, or you would have to send matching birth certificates or whatever. But if you didn't provide the documentation, they had no legal requirement to keep you on the insurance. And they would kick you off the insurance if you did not verify that you were legally able to be on the insurance. And you know what we seen? I seen so much finessing. I seen at that time, it was so many women that was getting kicked off of the insurance of their husband. You know why? Because a lot of times they would get divorced, but they never removed her from the insurance. And so she was basically finessing. And so a lot of times you would see the women call in and say, well, I want to speak on the behalf of the person. I want to speak on behalf of my man. I want to speak on behalf of my man. But when we start deep diving into it, we will find out they not even really together. She got her own man. He done moved on, and he never removed her from the insurance. And they would be pissed. They would be pissed. Oh, no. We just legally separated. Okay, we'll provide the documentation to say it, and we'll keep you on the insurance. You have to provide documentation to be on people's insurance. You got to provide documentation to shovel snow in New York. But you don't have to provide proof that you're a citizen to affect what happens in our elections. Come on, man, listen. Think about it like this. Could you imagine, for all of the passport bros out there that like to fuck with the foreign chicks, there's guys that's so obsessed with Thailand. I don't know what them boys is doing to y'all in Thailand, but y'all gotta get y'all lives together. I don't know what them lady boys is doing to y'all in Thailand. They must be fucking the shit out of y'all. I'm sorry. I know this is a family show, but they must be busting it down for a real one, because for whatever reason, the passport bros, they love, more than anywhere else, they love Thailand. They love Thailand. I don't know what it is. I don't know what they doing to y'all. I don't know what's going on over there. No clue. Where's that video that somebody sent me yesterday? I don't know if I can find it. Thailand. I might have to search for it. It might have been on Instagram. I'll be getting it mixed up nowadays.
Go to Thailand. Do not do it. I know you're thinking about it. I know you're getting ready to book that flight. Don't. Just trust me. Do not do it. Because this is what's going to happen. You're going to book that flight. And you're going to go to Thailand for 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month. And the time's going to come. You got to go back to your home country. You got to go back to your normal life. And when you get back home, this is what's going to happen. You're going to hate your life. You're going to hate your job. You're going to hate your boss. And you're going to say to yourself, man, I would do anything to go back to Thailand right now. And that's exactly what you're going to do. You're going to sell the house, the car, the wife, the kids, everything. And you're going to go back to Thailand.
I don't know what they doing to y'all in Thailand. I don't know what's happening in Thailand. But y'all need to break free, my nigga. Break free. Break free. I don't know what y'all doing. Y'all leaving y'all kids. Y'all dropping the wife, the house, everything. Look at Chase the Alpha says he just showed me on Thailand. They got y'all in a chokehold like that? Dog, they can't have y'all in a chokehold like that. No way. No way. No. They got a high rate of STDs. So why y'all so adamant about getting over there? Do y'all test these men that y'all sleeping with when y'all go over there? $10 box? Oh, hell no. Hell no. But again, I don't know what kind of chokehold that they got these boys over there in Thailand, but good grief. Good grief. They brought the STDs to Thailand. Good God, they got y'all in a chokehold. They got y'all in a chokehold so bad. Y'all losing y'all mind over there. I didn't even know that you can live over somewhere for 10 years. I mean, for a whole year straight. But anyways, the point that I was making was, imagine if you went over to a different country and said, all right, I'm about to go vote. I'm about to go vote. I'm just going to go vote. It really don't matter if I got ID. Doesn't really matter if I can prove that I'm a citizen or not. Doesn't matter about any of that stuff. I'm about to go vote there. You would never be able to get away with that anywhere. You can't get away with that in Canada. You can't get away with it in Mexico. You can't get away with it in Thailand. Can't get away with it in Japan. In any country that you go to, except for the United States of America, is the only place that they fight for you to be able to do the wrong thing. I'm adding this into the show tonight. If y'all want to come and see Molly, y'all want to come and get high off some Molly tonight, y'all can come and check her out on the Millionaire. On After Hours tonight on Room 9. Y'all can come and check her out on After Hours on Room 9. We talking about Thailand tonight. We talking about Bill Gates. We talking about Thailand. We talking about Cheyenne Bryant. We talking about everything tonight. Oh, they got y'all in a chokehold. Boy, oh boy.
I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but it's something like 40% of Americans don't have those documents. Married women, if you changed your name when you got married, it's going to be different than what's on your birth certificate, right? And what that's going to do in terms of complicating the ability of women to register to vote. And so this is happening in real time to suppress and obstruct the ability of people to vote.
Listen, everybody should be able to vote. Everybody should be having we should maintain our voter rolls, and nobody should be able to take advantage of it. All right. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn your notifications. Yeah, all you got to do is bring a marriage certificate. Bring a marriage certificate. What's the problem? If you're married and you change your name, then bring your marriage certificate. Why is this such a difficult thing? This is standard. No, this is not standard. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm. All right, well, let's go on. Let's move on. We got a lot more to cover today. Lots to cover. Let me ask y'all a question before I read super chats and cash apps. Y'all really enjoyed live streaming on Saturday and Sunday last week. Now, I don't want to get y'all used to it or I don't want the expectation for the requirement, but I'm trying to figure out if y'all want me to live stream on Saturday and maybe Sunday. And let me tell you why. It's the wintertime. I'm not out of town. What the fuck else we got to do? What else we got to do? Let's go out of town. Let's see. Because if I give it to y'all for 2 weekends in a row, then y'all going to be acting spoiled like some bad fucking kids, and I don't know how to deal with that. Let me read some of these super chats while I figure it out. Just a brown girl in America says, morning, Anton, the morning chat. What up, Nikki? Nikki's so smart and wise and cool and smooth. I like Nikki. Shen C says, I'm supposed to believe Bill was behind COVID and he couldn't even handle an STD. And a reason, that's what I said. Why am I supposed to believe that Bill Gates was behind COVID and this nigga was catching STDs from Russian models? I don't believe it. He couldn't even get his own chick. Bill Gates couldn't even get his own. He gave his own chick a STD. And y'all supposed to expect me to believe that he gave his chick, that he gave us all COVID. I don't believe it. You're never going to get me to believe it. And he couldn't even get himself cured from Russian models. I don't believe it. I don't personally, but we gonna talk about it tonight. Sean Live says Kamala will get smoked by Vance in a Rubio ticket. That's a fact. Mr. Chuck Duke says, 80, I worked under your office for years, watched you for years, and you don't know you changed me and my mom life. I'm 38 and I want to be you when I grow up. This is Chuck. What up, Chuck? How much Chuck could a woodchuck chuck if a woodcut could Chuck wood? Chuck. You got to keep that on the low. You know, we got fan love out here in these streets. And so I don't want the people to know too much about what we got going on and how I'm moving, because these niggas is, bro. I feel like I'm a celebrity, bro. Somebody said, Anton. Oh, I like this comment. Tennessee Syndicate says AD got a lot of extra time on his hands. Now that that's stable. What's stable low? You gotta keep a fleet around me. Nigga, what you talking about? What are you talking about? I keep him. Nigga, I probably got somebody right there looking at me on the couch. You don't know me. You don't know my life. You don't know my life. You don't know my life, nigga. Nigga, my life is complicated. You know how on Facebook, when you tap the relationship box, I don't know if they still do this on Facebook. You know how? No, your car. We gotta interact with the chat. The chat. We gotta get the people some entertainment, bro. You know how on Facebook, how they say it's complicated. Nigga, that's what the life is, nigga. Next man up, nigga. What you talking about? All right, let me stop playing. Let me stop messing around. Let me see what else is going on. You got to keep your name in the algorithm, right? That's your status, OG. Master Irrigation says, you notice the Democrat Party never speak about black men only, gays, women, and illegals. And where's the video of her with that so-called woman at the store? Yeah, you know they supposedly recorded. Brian, the filmmaker, says, I just can't believe Thailand is beautiful. LOL. Yeah, they going for the scenery. The chat summoned me. You Thailand lovers are gay. Talk to him, Molly. Talk to him, M. Dot. Me University says, who summoned Molly O from the chat abyss? Shaking my head. Spaces says, I think you should leave Sundays to frame fights. Nah, we'll see. Anthony Labraccio says, what up, though? I appreciate you, Ant. Cue the executive, MLE, my dog, says, what up, though, Cam? And the rest of the Dems are reading off a script. I'm not trying to hear that woman in her 30s and 40s are not registered to vote by now. When is the next meetup? Oh, man, it got a little complicated because, you know what I'm saying, we was talking about a retreat. Now I might have to do it a little differently. Whoa. I've been listening to this Currency and Larry June. That's what I've been listening to lately. I've been on Currency, Larry June, Spiral Staircases. That's all I've been playing right now. So I've been in a whole nother mood. You know what I'm saying? Whole nother wave. I'm going to figure it out. Honestly, I am. I need to sit down. Me and Rita going to figure that out. Rashonda Blackwell says, good morning, AD. I can't believe these folks out here being dumb. They research everything that's irrelevant. Get some knowledge. It's annoying. These people are perishing daily due to lack of knowledge. Go sit down somewhere. Facts. I don't know. What is this on CNN?
Was that moment what Donald Trump ultimately wanted and what perhaps your Democratic leadership wanted to avoid?
Oh, yeah, no, the president clearly came in with a strategy to do that, right? His strategy was to try to rage bait people into that fight. He wanted that, and he got it. Look, ultimately, he's not deporting 2 members of Congress, just like he didn't lock up Hillary, even though that was chanted in arenas, around the country. So, look, he can't fix his poll numbers. He can't turn around the fact that he's underwater on the economy, underwater on immigration, the 2 issues that helped get him elected. So what he's going to try to do is he's going to try to fight to the point where he tries to make us not an option, right? He wants to just bring us down with him to the hope that might help him somehow survive the midterms. This is the new strategy. He met with his pollsters. They saw where everything is. They can't turn around their stuff. They've ruined it in the first year. So the strategy is to try to bring everybody down in order to survive the midterms.
So
what is this show, the night, a news night with Abby Phillips, the only reason I know the name of it is because it's in the upper right hand corner. This show is kind of unwatchable without Scott Jennings. Scott Jennings is the person that makes this show.
Rashida Tlaib responded to Trump. She said, can't take two Muslims talking back and correcting him, so now he's crashing out. And then she used the hashtag President Majnoon, which means crazy or insane in Persian.
Yeah, I mean, she also got what she wanted, which was a mistake, I think, for the Democrats to play into that. I actually agree with
this nigga got the eyebrows, king eyebrows.
The congressman, I think.
Jeez, this nigga got eyebrows out the wazoo.
The president was setting up Democrats in a really simple and easy way. They shouldn't have fallen for it. It seems pretty easy to stand up and say, actually, no, I support American people first. That is where I stand. And we can have a nuanced conversation afterwards if you want about illegal immigration. But they walked into that trap because it was so easy to set.
Well, but that's not true. I mean, I stand for
most Democrats did not stand.
I stand for Americans over non-citizens, and so do all of my colleagues. But just because it's not the Galactic Senate, just because the Emperor says rise doesn't mean I get up. Like I'm a different.
You rose sometimes,
I'm a different branch of government. I rose.
Oh, but y'all got up when it came to Nancy Pelosi and the alleged insider trading whole situations. Y'all got up for that, but y'all couldn't get up for anything else.
For the heroes that were in the gallery, not
interesting. Let me see something.
There has been a tremendous renewal in religion, faith, Christianity, and belief in God. And a big part of that had to do with my great friend, Charlie Kirk, a great guy, great man. Charlie was violently murdered by an assassin and martyred, really martyred for his beliefs. His wonderful wife, Erica, is with us tonight. Erica.
After a late night last night, you're back at it today, and appreciate you coming on. Good morning to you.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me.
So the New York Times, about that moment, says, stand up. With one maneuver, Trump tries to box in Democrats. The president's ploy changed the energy inside the House chamber. At that point, would have been a mostly dutiful State of the Union address morphed into full-blown political theater. You and Speaker Johnson are only one of two people, in addition to the president, who have the same line of sight with his view. And when that happened, what did you see on the right side of the room?
Well, I saw a couple of things, Bill. First of all, obviously, most Democrats didn't stand up or clap. And what a shame that is. What a sad commentary that is on the Democratic Party, that the idea that the American government should stand for American citizens, not illegal aliens, that shouldn't be controversial, but apparently it was to the Democrats. But I will say, Bill, something that I saw that probably most TV viewers didn't see was really the cowardice, because there were a few Democrats who sort of politely clapped. They didn't want to stand up. I guess maybe they were worried about being primaried by the far left fringe of their party, but they were all looking around. They weren't actually saying, you know what, I'm going to stand and support this because this is a common sense, obvious statement. They were all looking around for cues from their colleagues because they didn't have the courage to stand on their own. And that, more than anything, Bill, is the saddest commentary on the Democratic Party, that not only will they not stand for the idea that Americans should come first, they won't even have the courage of their convictions. They lean on the person to their left and their right rather than actually have some conviction. That is unfortunately what's true about Democrats in Washington today.
Well, it is being talked about a lot about how many Democrats chose not to go left.
That's some real junk right there. And I think that, no. Eric, nope. He's calling it exactly how we see it. And the reality is that is the Me Too party. That is the Me Too party. You forget, Eric, that J.D. Vance is the person that had first criticized Trump in his first administration before he became president. And then he wound up rising to eventually become vice president of the United States of America. And it's not because he was just so loyal to Trump. It's because he was actually the best person for the job. And you can see the clear difference between him and Kamala Harris. There's a huge gap between J.D. Vance and Kamala Harris. A massive gap. It's a gulf between them. So he's not sitting there as a person that has never criticized Trump and realized, you know what, I might have been off about him, and then eventually wound up becoming vice president of the United States of America. He's telling you the truth. And I don't think that this is inaccurate. And Eric, I know that you know that this is not inaccurate, is that the Democrats are a Me Too party. How do you know that the Democrats are a Me Too party? All we got to do is look at their voting record. Regardless of how they affect Americans in a negative way, and regardless of how moderate some of them are, and they criticize other Democrats that may vote differently from them on whatever issue, whether you're talking about a government shutdown or a bill or whatever, right? You see them aligning with each other regardless of how diabolical the issues are that we're addressing at that particular time. And it's the truth. And even when they wanted to stand up, they sat down because they were looking at the rest of the Democrats and they said, well, I'm not going to be the one to stand up. It's just the truth.
Last night, Senator Fetterman, a Democrat from Pennsylvania, last hour said on our program that the State of the Union address has changed forever. Have you given that much thought?
I really have. I mean, a couple of things, Bill. First of all, it was a celebration of America in a very unique way. I'd never seen in a State of the Union address where you have all of these great people coming in. You know, the guy who flew the Chinook helicopter in the Venezuela mission coming in, being awarded the Medal of Honor, and then a 100-year-old Korean War veteran being awarded the Medal of Honor at the same time. You had this poor girl who was assaulted by illegal aliens who managed to survive miraculously. All of these stories, normally you hear one or two stories. It was a constant, invigorating reminder of how great our country is through the stories of these great Americans. I think that is fundamentally a difference, and I don't think that we'll ever go back. And I think the second thing, Bill, is the president used it as an opportunity to highlight the difference between congressional Republicans and congressional Democrats. You had congressional Democrats, they wouldn't stand for the idea that children shouldn't be socially transitioned without their parents' wishes. They wouldn't stand for the idea that American citizens should come first. They wouldn't stand for that innocent little girl who was assaulted by an illegal alien but managed to survive. Whatever your politics, whatever your views on immigration policy, can't we all stand and clap for an innocent young girl who shouldn't have been assaulted and was, being held by her dad? It was such a heartwarming moment. I think every American, Democrat or Republican, thought that was a great moment for our country. The only people who didn't believe that, apparently, were the congressional Democrats in that chamber. I think it shows again how broken their party is. But that revelation, I think, using the State of the Union to drive home that we really do have a radical fringe in our country that's not representative of the whole. I don't think that we'll ever see a State of the Union that doesn't drive home that point.
Okay, let's get to the issue that might clip this administration, and that's the economy. On screen now, we can show you three of the most recent polls about the economy and how about Americans are feeling about it. Everything in red. Our Fox polling disapproves at 59%, Washington Post, ABC News 57%, Wall Street Journal at 54%. It seems like you're pushing a car uphill, and you've got 9 months to turn it around. Democrats are juiced. They are ready to vote tomorrow. Do you have enough runway to get this economy where it needs to be before November?
Well, Bill, in some ways, we are pushing a car uphill because the Biden administration left us such a disaster of an economy, the highest peacetime debt in American history, skyrocketing inflation. A lot of Americans who had lost $3,000 was how much the average American had lost in take-home pay. Now, in a year, we've actually seen the average American gain about $1,200 in take-home pay. But if you're sitting at home from the perspective of the Biden administration, you are still worse off than you were when Joe Biden took over. So we are absolutely pushing that car uphill. But here's the good news, Bill. I think we're about to get over the hump. I think that tax season is around the corner. A lot of Americans, because of no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security, they're about to get a massive tax income refund. We've seen this massive trillions and trillions of dollars coming into our country to build new factories. Those construction jobs are starting to hit the economy. Then the manufacturing jobs, once those factories are built, will hit the economy too. So I think that we've got a lot of momentum here. But the president said this last night. We inherited a mess. Our ask to the American people is let us continue to fix this mess, make your life better. That's what the president is prioritizing, and that's what we're going to keep doing.
Seems like
and alert to what might be at play around these midterms, because obviously he is one of the most unpopular presidents ever in the history of the United States. His agenda is one of the most unpopular in the way it has played out. And then, Aaron, I'll also say, like, let's be prepared, because
oh, I'm sorry, I'm muted. My bad. I don't know how I got muted. Thank you for letting me know I was muted. What I said was there's a gulf between JD Vance and Kamala Harris. If you look at the way that he speaks, and then you look at how she articulates herself, it's wide. It's wide. If they ever ran against each other, if they ever debated against each other, if they ever started to go back and forth, man, he would mop the floor with her without even thinking. It is a massive gulf between the way that JD Vance is able to articulate himself, answer questions, even when Fox News is asking him a question and they saying, listen, it seemed like the economy, a lot of people disapprove or whatever, so on and so forth. And he broke it down. He said, well, Trump told you last night that we're trying to clean it up, and this is what's going to happen. This is what's coming. This is how we gonna fix the economy, so on and so forth. Yes, he mopped the floor with Tim Walz. If she get in the ring with a JD Vance, oh my God, bro. Gavin Newsom is trash too. Trash too. Absolute trash. Somebody said you're the muted king. Facts. 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 Listen, some things I'm just going to accept. Absolutely, I agree with you. Absolutely, I agree with you. 100%. I agree. It's a gulf, and they are cowards. They are absolute cowards, and I don't like them. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. I want to get into some other stuff. I want to get away from politics for a minute. And first of all, I want to give a shout out to Corey Houston. Shout out to my dog, Corey Houston, on Cash App. I appreciate you for holding me down, big dog. Says Kamala tightened up her neck. No more chin strap. Did she? Let me look at this.
as if as many.
I think she on the juice. I think she got some. I think she got some Botox in her neck. I think she on the juice. Kamala Harris neck. It might just be the lighting. It might be the lighting. Can you get a neck lift? Is it possible to get a neck lift? That's a hell of a search. Kamala Harris neck. Can you get a neck? Is it possible to get a neck stretch? You can get a neck lift? Wow. All right, let me go ahead and start scheduling my appointments to get some stuff done. Let me see what I need. Some hair. I don't know. I got to figure it out. If everybody else getting work, fuck it. Might as well hit the cheat code. Get it popping. Let me see what y'all want to talk about. We got Stellantis on the docket, the Chicago Bears. JB Pritzker was talking about the Chicago Bears. All right, I know where we going. I know exactly where we going with these next three. Let's first talk about the Chicago Bears. We got to talk about Stellantis. They're not getting no profit sharing checks. And we got to talk about the new standard of living of what they say it takes to get by in California. All right? That's what we're going to get into. Those are the next three that I want to tackle really, really quickly. Shout out to Mike That Dude. Mike That Dude says, I zoomed in, that neck is still nasty work. Well, how long does it take for you to recover from the neck lift? What can't you do?
All right, Governor. I don't know if you know this. I'm a huge Bears fan. I grew up in the Bronx in New York City, but my dad was from North Side of Chicago. I was raised a Chicago sports fan.
I knew I liked you.
Yeah, Cubs, Bulls, Bears. We could do an hour here on the full panoply. First of all, let's just say that was the most exciting Bear season in 20 years.
Oh, I mean, I got to tell you, I'm a Bears fan. And I mean, every game, first of all, it was a nail biter virtually every game, right? Got to the fourth quarter and we had to pull it out in the end. But you know, our team really has improved significantly. You know, we've got great leadership, and I'm thrilled. I think next year is going to be our year.
Well, this brings us to this. You know, we have seen.
How do you know when people are not really the fans of the teams that they say that they're fans of? I'm gonna teach y'all something right now. Let me replay everything that he said, and I'm gonna teach you something. I'm gonna learn you something. I'm gonna lear you something right now. All right.
And I got to tell you, I'm a Bears fan. And I mean, every game, first of all, it was a nail biter virtually every game, right? Got to the fourth quarter and we had to pull it out in the end. But you know, our team really has improved significantly. You know, we've got great leadership, and I'm thrilled. I think next year is going to be our year.
Well, this brings us to this. You know,
let me look in the chat and see if y'all can tell. So the fellas know what's up. The fellas know what's up. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, y'all know. Hello. They know. You know how you know? You know how you know? Is because people are very, very vague. Let's say, for example, somebody was to say, man, you know, the Pistons, they had a great year, whatever. And I say, you know what? They're doing really well. You know what? They got some good leadership. I like the changes that the coaches is making. And, you know, it's a great team and leadership is doing a great thing. Any fan knows that you speak very vague and you don't really watch the games. How do they know that you speak vague and you don't watch the games? Because you speak generically. Then you speak about the things that you know that everybody else is saying. Oh, they're a winning team. Oh, man, it's some nail biters. Come back, come to the end. Now, I'm going to use my team because I love the Pistons, right? I would say, man, they were saying MVP. K had 29. Jalen Duren had 29. K had 13 assists. Jalen Duren had 15 rebounds. Man, and this is what happened, man. They scored this amount of money, in the fourth quarter. And, bro, he really taking over. I think he an MVP candidate because he's been averaging this and that and so on and so forth. And he's been shooting on an efficient 50%, 55% shooting. And that's similar to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I don't like the fact that Wemby had 46 blocks in the fourth quarter. And Wemby and them, they pulled it out with Toronto the other day. But I also like the fact that Denver beat the hell out of Boston. And the Joker is an MVP. Like, you can really start to talk about it because you know it, right? You can speak about it at length. You can name the players. You know what's going on, right? You don't speak vague as a person that is a fan. He's a politician. He's a politician. He's not a fan of the Bears. He don't care about the Bears. And that's cool. That's cool. But I just need y'all to be able to read between the lines sometimes so you can see and you can understand it a little bit differently.
We have seen, this has been one of the big stories in American sports and politics over the last 30 or 40 years. Local teams essentially telling municipalities and states that they have to pony up money for new stadiums or they're going to leave. And the Bears ownership is basically doing that right now with the state of Illinois. There's a few different sites. There's one in Arlington Heights they've talked about, which would be in your state, but outside of Chicago. Soldier Field, of course, storied on the lakefront, property owned by the city of Chicago, public land. But now talking about going to Indiana, how do you communicate to people like what your red lines are around what feels a little bit to me as a Bears fan like a shakedown?
Yeah. Well, let me start by saying I want the Chicago Bears to stay in Chicago or stay in the state of Illinois. And right now it looks like the choice is going to be between Arlington Heights and Indiana for them. But I also, I was a businessman before I was governor, and I can tell you.
Stop there. Let me go back a little bit.
And right now it looks like the choice is going to be between Arlington Heights and Indiana for them.
All right, so I'm right on the first half because I already said it. I said they're gone. They're gone. He's now confirming it because I've been following this. I've been following this relentlessly, and I've been covering this for you guys because I want my Chicagoans to understand and to see the demise in real time. I want y'all to see the demise in real time. I said it. I called it. I said that they are not staying in Chicago. They are not going to stay in Chicago. J.B. Pritzker has already confirmed it. Honestly, listen, I'm going to make my prediction. I'm going to make my bold prediction. Bold prediction. I don't think that they are going to stay in Arlington Heights either. I don't think that Chicago is going to stay in Illinois. I don't think that the Bears are going to stay in Illinois. They've already lost the team in Chicago. Arlington Heights is not the move. Nobody wants to go to Arlington Heights to go and watch the Bears. Democrats have lost your team in the city of Chicago. Chicago should not be without a team. Los Angeles should not be without a football team. New York shouldn't be without a football team. Miami shouldn't be without a. Those are the four cities. The four cities that you cannot lose a major team in because they are the four largest cities in their respective, West, East, Midwest, South. Miami got to have a football team. New York got to have a football team. Chicago is the largest city in the Midwest. They have to have a football team in the city. And Los Angeles has to have a football team in the city. They're going to Indiana. If I'm wrong, I will own it. I told you they were not staying in Chicago. Brandon Johnson should be going down as one of the worst mayors in the history of Chicago. Brandon Johnson, I told y'all the day that he got elected that he was going to turn the city upside down. That he was going to turn the city upside down. Brandon Johnson should be considered the worst mayor and one of the worst mayors in the history of Chicago, certainly the worst mayor of our lifetime. And J.B. Pritzker just confirmed it. They are going to Indiana. They are going to be the Gary Bears, the Gay Bears, the Care Bears. Yeah, you remember Darren Walker? Now, Darren, have some pushback for me. So you know you not being biased. You remember when I said it when he first got elected? I said this guy is going to turn your city inside out, upside down. It's over for Chicagoans. And the people got mad. The Care Bears said, "Oh, Anton, no, get off my city. Y'all should have been on my team." Like, hey, man. He beat Lori Lightfoot by light years. Lori Lightfoot don't have a candle to Brandon Johnson and concerted effort with JB Pritzker. Don't have a fucking can't hold a candle to them. So now the Care Bears is between Arlington Heights and once you leave Chicago, you got to go with the best deal. Because the only thing that Chicago had, considering that they were not offering anything that would help them to stay, the only thing that Chicago had was the fact that they were Chicago. And that's not enough. It's not enough. Because once they make up their mind, well, listen, fuck Chicago. We don't give a fuck what you're doing. They're going to go with the best deal. And Arlington Heights is not it. Arlington Heights was the alternative. It was the best alternative. But Indiana is the best option. The only reason why Indiana is not the place that they want to do it is because it's Chicago. But then when you also consider Kansas City and what happened with that and people that was willing to move over and go, they don't care no more, bro. They don't care. They don't care. All you had was your name. And once your name became sullied and soured, it's over. It's over for y'all.
But I also, I was a businessman before I was governor. And I can tell you, because I've been involved with a lot of business deals over the
Your family was the business. You just so happened to be born into it.
Years, that I'm not going to be shaken down. And I have set out some very clear guidelines. And my guidelines are, we're not going to fleece the taxpayers of the state of Illinois. We're not going to let the Bears do that. We are going to make sure that we're doing, if we do something that supports the Bears, which we're working very hard on, it's not going to be something that's going to cost our taxpayers the way that it's going to cost Indiana taxpayers, because it seems like they're going to raise 4 or 5 different taxes on people. I don't think the people of Indiana have any idea what they're in for, and they're going to pay for a stadium for the.
Now he's playing defense. That's how you know it's over. Now he's playing defense. Listen, it used to be offense, because complaints go up, not down. When you're the winning team, you don't really focus on the other people. You let them focus on you. They got to climb the mountain. We already up at the top. All we got to do is continue to build. He on defense, man. I don't know what the people of Indiana thinking. Do you know what they're going to have to go through in order to get to Indiana? He didn't even used to mention Indiana. He used to be about, well, listen, we had a good conversation with the Bears, and we think that they're in a great space or whatever. Now he's like, man, do you know what you're going to have to go through to go to Indiana? You know what this sounds like? This sounds like a nigga that's trying to get his hoe back and she already gone. I can't believe you over there with that nigga Rodney. What? You know that nigga ain't even have a job last year? You know what you're going to have to go through in order to even hang out with this nigga? This nigga, what you doing? This is a scorned lover. This is a scorned lover. You hate this nigga. Now you lost your hoe, nigga. You lost your hoe. You lost your girl. And instead of just saying, man, fuck that bitch, I'm moving on. It's time. I got to work on me. I got to do me. I got to focus on becoming the best version of me. I got to do me. You grieving. He's grieving. And now he's going through the denial phase. The denial phase. Shit, he might as well ask him, is it bigger than mine? He might as well do that too. So what you saying? Was it bigger than mine? He in the denial phase. Do you really want to know? Yes, their offer is bigger than yours. Do you really want to know? Next thing you know, it's going to be, well, don't come back. Once you leave, don't come back. Once you leave, don't come back. Once he do you dirty, once Indiana do y'all niggas dirty, once y'all fuck it up, I'm a been and moved on. If you leave out that door, don't come back. Meanwhile, Indiana is sitting there waiting in the car, and she gonna come out to the car. The Chicago Bears gonna come out to the car. He gonna tell her, I told you could have just left your shit there. You could have just left it there. Now we got it. Now this nigga's out here. Got this nigga looking crazy in front of the neighbors. You know what I'm saying? Got him looking crazy in front of the neighbors. Now this nigga crashing out. We see this?
Chicago Bears, I've said from the beginning, we're not paying for a stadium. We'll help with infrastructure, all the things that we help businesses. Remember, this is a privately owned business by a billionaire family. So if the state's going to help, we're going to help just like we do with other businesses because we want to create jobs and economic.
What's the price tag on a stadium?
Well, they're talking about several $1 billion for a stadium, and you've seen like over and over across the country. I mean, taxpayers do not want to pay for this.
It's insane.
Shouldn't have to.
No one else. There's no other business that does it.
Yeah.
See, they crashing out. See this shit? This is the 5 stages of grief. It's the 5 stages of grief. You know she gone. She just ain't left yet. The Chicago Bears is telling JB Pritzker, listen. I'm going to come back and get my stuff, okay? When is a good time for me to come and get my stuff? Please don't go.
I mean, we just moved here. We're in the beautiful new Versant Media. Did the state of New York buy our new headquarters? No, we're a private business. We had to buy the new headquarters.
100%. And
Talking to his best friend. Man, I did everything for that girl, man. Nobody does this. Nobody does this. I know, dog. Man, you was the best person, bro. I don't think for 1 second it's not you, bro.
That's my job, is to protect the people of Illinois, to make sure that they don't have to pay for something they shouldn't have to pay for. Meanwhile, I want the Bears to stay in our state,
yeah.
and there are lots of things we can do that it's appropriate for us to do. We provide infrastructure for people that live in the state of Illinois. We provide infrastructure for the businesses of Illinois. This is a business, and they are going to create economic growth. They have plans for expansion, for amenities that go around a stadium and other things like that. And so I want them to stay, and I love the team, and I want them to stay where put. And I don't think anybody really wants to go to see the Hammond Bears.
Good.
You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. Make sure you guys hit a like for this. Make sure you guys hit like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Please don't go. Please don't. We're going to see. Listen. If they move, if the Chicago Bears move over to Hammond, I'm going to at least 2 games. I'm going to see the Care Bears. I'm going to see the Care Bears if they move. Make no mistake about it. I will be in the building to root on the Care Bears. That's it. I'm keeping it 100 with you. I'm going. Shout out to the Care Bears. Shout out to the Gay Bears. Trey says, I've seen that Russia is going back to the USD. Not sure if that's true. I'll research it and find out. Thank you, Trey. Manny Plays PC says that looks like the lighting reflecting off her jewelry. Shout out to Manny Plays. Mr. Gerald says, Anton, I'm laughing when you said the Care Bears watching from Big Island, Hawaii. I'm coming to Hawaii. I'm coming home. What is it, November, December? We in Hawaii, November, December. I'm spending all winter there. Sifo says, check out the judge ruled illegal truck drivers can keep their CDL active in California. We're going to have to add that to the part of the next show. I'm coming to live in Hawaii all winter long. Shout out to you, Gigi. I'm coming to Hawaii, man. I'm coming to Hawaii, man. I'm going to come and see y'all. I'm going to say aloha, what up, Hawaii, throwing gang signs in Hawaii. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All right, y'all. Let me see. I think I'm about to go to a different state. Y'all keep telling me, what's the weather in San Antonio? Let me see what's happening in San Antonio. I might just go on tour in San Antonio. I'm going to love Hawaii. I know 2K from there. I'm going to have to call 2K. I think 2K going to be on the show tonight, too. I think 2K going to be on the show on After Hours tonight, so it might be kind of wild, y'all. Let me see. Oh, shit. Y'all, 92 degrees today? 84 tomorrow, 84 Saturday, 82 Sunday, 79 Monday. Good gosh. Vegas ain't messing around either. Man, I'm still looking at snow that ain't fully melted on the ground over here. 72 in Tulsa. Let me see what's happening. Only thing about San Antonio is that they don't have no decent flights like they need to. Friday to let's do this one way. Friday. These are the only two times it's nonstop, the 8:42 a.m. and the 8:25 p.m. That don't work for me. Or maybe I'll shoot out there Saturday. Neither one of these times work for me, bro. Unless I took the 8:42 a.m. and then I did a later show for the Millionaire Morning Show. That could be a play. Or I ain't never been to San Antonio. I don't know. Because, Austin is right up the street. Ain't Austin like an hour and a half away driving? I need to see all of America. Let me see something. I know these flights is going to be high because if you do them at the last minute, they're going to be crazy. Honolulu. 10 hours. 10 hours. 10 hours. At least you can sleep, though. I got the newer ones, I think. Yeah, those are the newer ones. Anyways, make sure you guys hit a like. That's a long flight, bro. That's a long flight. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Aaron says the Lions is trash. I don't agree with that, Aaron. I don't agree with that, Aaron. Nelly Domingo, what up, though? Says people in the Northwest Indiana are already Bears fans. Chicago residents already cross state lines for gas, groceries, and even a Hard Rock casino. I know that is true. How is y'all casino doing over there in Chicago? 392Q says going to San Antonio for the Spurs game on the 21st of March. It's going to be a great time. 21st of March, right? Ain't no basketball games because San Antonio is all on the East Coast right now playing. They just played Toronto last night. So I know it ain't no basketball games in San Antonio. I think I'm going somewhere next week, but I'm going for my daughter next week. So we'll see what happens. Anyways, let's continue on with the show. Let's go to Stellantis. Boom, 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 boom. Shout out to my Chrysler workers, the Stellantis crews.
For Stellantis means no profit sharing.
The automaker's UAW workers won't see any checks this year. Fox News' Robin Murdoch joins us live from Sterling Heights with more on the story. Robin.
This obviously not going over well with these Stellantis workers. As you mentioned, the Stellantis workers who are part of the UAW, they are not going to be getting these checks. And as you know, these are checks that many of them rely on to pay the bills, to make ends meet. So this is definitely a big blow for them. Let's talk a little bit about some of these profit sharing checks and how they have been decreasing steadily in recent years. In fact, back in 2022, the previous payout for that profit sharing check was right around $15,000. And
listen. Let me tell you what happens with these people. Flying to Austin, I'll look at Austin in a second, real life, PJ. I'll look at that in a second. Do you know what happens? Ford and GMs. Let me show you what Ford's profit sharing. Ford's profit sharing check is only $6,700. All right, it's being paid out in mid-March. In previous years, it was like between $10,000 and $12,000, sometimes $15,000. Now, this was negotiated on behalf of the UAW, right? They said that it was paid out as $10,000 in 2004, all right? Paid out $10,000 in 2004. Now, General Motors, before I break it down and I dig into it, GM, which historically usually gets around the biggest profit sharing checks, their profit sharing checks are going to be $10,000. All right. Previous amounts was $14,000 in 2024 and $12,000 in 2023 for 2023. So your 2023 check comes out in around March of 2024. Same thing for the 2024 check. It hit in 2025. The 2026 check is going to be about $10,000. All right. So the GM workers ain't complaining too much. Ford workers is a little bit hurt right now because they got about a 40% drop, but they still getting $6,700. Chrysler, they not getting one. Chrysler is not getting a profit sharing check this year because the company was in a tank. And this is what I keep telling people, is that this is similar to what happens when you're talking about having equity inside of whatever happens in a country or in a company, because most executive compensation is tied to the performance of the company. Similar to what I was telling y'all about Andy Jasper over at Amazon. You used to be the Amazon Web Services boss, moved over to be the CEO of Amazon, was handpicked by Jeff Bezos to run the company. Now, let me break this down from a real level of what really happened out in the street, because DJ Ace Productions, you know what's really happening. You know what's really happening, right? Let me tell you what happens every single year. That's why I just sit back. March, April, May, those months, strip clubs is popping. New cars is dropping. Weather is changing. The hoes is banging. Everybody out in the streets, they be having Wagoneers. All the Chrysler workers be having Wagoneers. The GM workers, they be having Escalades. The Ford workers, they be having Expeditions, Navigators, whatever, right? Right? So usually what happens is the money is flowing. Everybody is at J. Alexander's and Benny Hine. The women talking about my man. Right? Everybody is blowing money fast. Everybody BMF. Everybody got their Prada shoes on. It's a Detroit thing. They go to Hutch. Rest in peace. They go to Hutch. They get their buffs. Everybody got their buffs. Because you got to remember, this is not only during profit sharing check time. This is also during income tax check time. So you got profit sharing checks popping and income tax checks popping. So they get their bonuses and their income checks, plus they got their regular job, and they like, oh man, we out here in these streets. So everybody out there making it rain, got the big drops, got the money popping and all of that. Yeah, rest in peace, Hasty and Hutch. Everybody got the money train. But this year, Ford is going to be a little tight. Holding on to them dollars a little tighter. So, may not be as much raining going on as it is saving. People got to get their property tax paid off. Property tax notices is going to be coming out. Catch up on some debt. GM, they might still be outside a little bit, but they keeping it a little bit more muted. Chrysler workers, they just going to sit home for the year. Chrysler workers is chilling because you know what happens? You know what else happens? The money be already spent before they even announce what the profit sharing is. So instead of them really following the health of the company so that they can better understand exactly what's going on, the money be spent. Man, I'm about this. We going on vacation. You know what I'm saying? We about to hit. They had to cancel Tulum in Mexico and Cancun because the cartel is out there doing what they do. But the money already be spent. It be spent in their head before they even get it. Man, I'm about to got that new car. You know what I'm saying? They got that new vet coming out. Might not get the ZL1, but I'm definitely getting a Stingray, nigga. Definitely getting a Stingray. You know what I'm saying? Back when everybody used to have the Hellcats and all of that stuff, you know? Spring break time too. But they can't go back to their girl and say, hey, man, we not getting no profit sharing. They just going to have to figure this shit out. Oh, man. Lucinda tripping too, bro. I told her I was going to take her on vacation. And I told her, you can have whatever you like. I said, you can have whatever you like. Yeah. Stacks on deck. Patron on ice. They've been telling Lucinda, Stephanie, you know, Rhonda, Keisha. They've been talking to all this shit all year. Yeah, man, listen, money ain't shit to me. We blow this without nothing. X3s, we get them to the baby mamas. We don't even trip about that. You in the house this year, long way? Still listening to what Fabulous said. Fab said, yeah, man, we get it X3, X5 to the baby mama. So yeah, that's what you get. Run your own race. Run your own race. Now everybody in the house this year. Everybody chilling. 3 Kims, facts. Everybody in the house this year. You know what I'm saying? We gon' by the time the summer hit, everybody done ran out of money anyway. So you buying pawn slips? Me too. Me too.
For that profit sharing check was right around $15,000. And then in 2023, they received just over $14,000. Then just last year, that number did drop dramatically to right around $4,000. Then again, in this year, the new news that we are just learning is that UAW workers at Stellantis will not get a profit sharing check at all. Now, we, of course, did reach out to Stellantis for some comment, and they did say that as North America results did not meet the minimum thresholds defined in the 2023 UAW collective bargaining agreement, there will be no profit sharing checks for the UAW represented employees for 2025, end quote. Of course, that is just part of the statement that they did provide to us. We also did reach out to the UAW to try and get comment for them, to get their reaction concerning this, and we are still waiting to hear back. But of course, when we do, we'll be sure to share that with you.
Let me tell you, Stellantis, listen, bro, these auto workers here, even though it's 2026, since I was a little kid, the auto industry had a chokehold on the culture here in Detroit. The auto industry had a chokehold here in Detroit. All right. It's so bad to where, you know how everybody running around with all of these Wagoneers, the big dog, the Wagoneer trucks. Now everybody running around with the Wagoneer trucks. Bro, that's a program that they got within Stellantis for the people that's on the floor that work in the plant. It come directly out of their paycheck. It come directly out of their paycheck. Niggas got their car notes literally financed through their paycheck, through their job. They go straight to HR. They giving deals on Wagoneers, and everybody in the parking lot that's balling, that work the overtime, they got a Wagoneer. It comes straight out of their check, payroll deduction. You know what it is. DJ Ace know I know what's up. I know too many women that work in there. I know too many women that work in the plants. Listen, I know women that work at Ford. I know women that work at GM, and I know women that work at Chrysler. And Chrysler, they keep them a Wagoneer on deck. They keep a Wagoneer on deck. Women driving around in Cherokees and Wagoneers, the guys driving around in the Wagoneers, they're doing it, and it's coming straight out of payroll deduction, bro. I'm telling you. And they got them on a the New Year release it out every single year. Yes. If you work at Chrysler, let me hold on. Let me see if I can get some phone calls in here. I might have to pull some contacts. Or she at work right now. She can't talk right now. She at work. She at work right now. Shout out to Lucinda. Lucinda doing it up. But the UAW negotiated this. The UAW negotiated this. They negotiated this deal to where they wanted to share in the profit sharing in the same way that executive compensation was structured. So when the company doesn't do well, guess what? You don't get a bonus. You don't get a bonus. You don't get to come back and say, oh man, where's my bonus at? Company didn't do well last year. They didn't turn a profit. You don't get a profit sharing check. That's how it goes. Y'all better get back out there with them Challengers, the Hellcats, Chargers. Better get them cars back out there on them streets. Let the YNs get out there popping. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Before we get up out of here, there was something else I wanted to share with y'all. See if I can find it on this laptop. Multiple people were being reported as shot on Chicago's South Side. Chicago leaders push to allow for community colleges to give out bachelor's degrees. That's a good one. That's a really good one. That should be a thing. That's probably the best thing I done heard all day. Before we get to that,
Expensive it is to just function here in California.
And it turns out it's expensive, but let's back into that. First of all, costs of living and incomes differ from state to state. So obviously, living in one place doesn't have the same costs as living in another place. So there's a financial app called MoneyLion that crunched the numbers and came up with a study that determined what the different costs are in different states and how much you need to be able to make to cover your nut. One takeaway from that study is that
now, I don't think he's talking about getting it off. Not like that. No. He's saying how much it costs to take care of your nut. Your nut is how much it costs to basically allow for you to be able to get everything taken care of. All right.
Families in half the country, 25 states, need to earn about $30 an hour or roughly $53,000 a year after taxes to make ends meet. Another takeaway is that some states, including the one you are soaking in right now, can be very, very expensive. To get by in California, according to MoneyLion, you need to be making about $46 an hour or more than $79,000 a year to cover just the necessities such as housing, groceries, utilities, and health care. In fact, two states, and just two states alone, according to MoneyLion, are more expensive than California. They would be Massachusetts, where you need to be pulling down about $90,000 a year if you want to make your ends meet, or Hawaii, where you have to pull down about $111,000 to make ends meet. But how does this jive with what we actually know about how much people really do make? Well, that's another thing. A separate report from the job site ZipRecruiter says that the average hourly wage in California is $33.50, which is well below what that other study says you need to be making. And so by that math, the necessities in California would bankrupt most families. But since that's obviously not the case, what do we know is probably happening? What we know is a lot of families are getting by on not just one job, but 2 jobs or 3 jobs to make ends meet. Moreover, many families just have to live farther and farther away from their work just to be able to afford accommodations. And that's a very challenging place to be. What can you do about it? Well, aside from the 2, 3, or 4 jobs, you could move to the state that the MoneyLion says is the cheapest, and that would be Mississippi, where you only need to be making about $45,000 a year to make your nut.
Oh,
Maybe I need to go to Mississippi. Maybe Mississippi is the play. Listen, I ain't gonna cap with you. Like, I really do like Mississippi. I really do like Mississippi. I think that one of the reasons, well, there's multiple different reasons why California is messed up, right? Obviously, you got bad leadership. Obviously, y'all also know that y'all got a whole lot of taxes and a whole lot of money that y'all giving away. And then third is housing. Housing. And let me tell you this. California is the gig economy. California, Los Angeles, everybody is basically enabling whatever it is car that they have to go out there and deliver food. He was making $60,000 a year in Mississippi. What is it, Jackson? Jackson, Mississippi is supposed to be the black city, the urban core in Mississippi. Everybody is a gig worker, hustling in Mississippi. Straight up. I ordered a DoorDash yesterday from a place called Breadless here in Detroit. And it's basically, chicken breasts or whatever. And, they don't have no bread on it. So it's basically wrapped in lettuce and all of that other stuff, right? So I ordered from Breadless. I do my DoorDash yesterday, and the homie came in. He pulled up with the Gucci jacket on. He had the Challenger. Wasn't a Hellcat. I don't know if it was a Scat or what. And he was getting it popping. It's one of my favorite restaurants called Breadless. Shout out to Breadless, getting it popping. It's definitely on my favorites list here in Detroit. And so, he came in with the Scat. And so I always tip extra. And he was very appreciative and he was hustling. Everybody is gig working in California. Everybody gig working here in Detroit. And actually, the people that do the best as far as gig work, as far as delivering DoorDash and Grubhub, is the people that actually ride bikes. Yep. In the summertime, spring, summer, fall, they jump on their bike. They don't have to spend no money on gas or maintenance or nothing. They jump on their bike, and that's how they deliver their DoorDash and Grubhub. And in Miami, it's a bunch of migrants, a bunch of illegal migrants and migrants that don't even speak English. They do all of the DoorDashing and Grubhub. They don't have cars. They all on mopeds. And they're able to do it on mopeds, a lot of them, because it's not no snow year round. So all of them deliver on mopeds. And if you go over to the design district, if you go over to Midtown, if you go over to Brickell, they all hanging around in the same groups and they all on mopeds and they waiting to get an order so that they go on DoorDash, and that's the way they make their money. They all on mopeds. But one thing that I think that California is doing well, if they pass it, is they are pushing for community colleges to offer bachelor's degrees, which I think would actually lower the cost of college educations.
All new at 5, increasing access to higher education. There is a push at the state capitol to allow California community colleges to offer bachelor's degree programs.
CBS 13's Brady Halblive is getting answers on the parameters, though.
It is the only proven tactic that we know of in the state of California that will uplift people out of poverty.
Responding to student needs and expanding access. That's what lawmakers say 2 new state bills aim to do. They would allow students to earn a bachelor's degree at a community college without having to transfer to a 4-year university.
Our communities have changed. Our workers' needs have changed, but our higher education structure has not kept up to pace.
The first bill, AB 2694, targets workforce shortages. If a region needs workers, but no local college offers a specific bachelor's degree, a community college could expand a specific program, allowing students to complete their degree and enter the workforce. San Joaquin Delta College Superintendent Dr. Lisa Aguilar-Lawrenson says it could be a game changer, especially in specialized fields.
One great example at Delta College is we have our electron microscopy program, which is one of the only community colleges in the United States to have such a program. It'd be wonderful for us to have a bachelor's degree program in that field.
The second bill, AB 2301, aims to address the nursing shortage. It would allow up to 10 community colleges statewide to offer a bachelor's of science in nursing.
Our communities cannot afford to lose our students who are the future of our workforce because an outdated framework that limits where and how bachelor degrees can be offered.
Now, there has been a debate over expanding bachelor degrees to community college.
Under a law passed in 2021, community colleges, they can only develop up to 30 degrees each year. That is, as long as they don't duplicate programs offered at UC or CSU.
Listen. The college education game is no different than lobbyists in any other industry. Pharmaceuticals, automakers, it's the same thing. And regardless of the fact that they're public universities, what basically they taking advantage of, or what they're trying to do, is they're trying to limit people's ability to run up a bag by charging them more for education. Because colleges are nothing more than profit-driven institutions, just like any other capitalistic venture out there. And so what they're basically doing, what they've been basically doing, is throttling the economy by preventing people from being able to go over to community colleges and getting bachelor's degrees. And why would they do that? If y'all really wanted these legislators to lower the cost of education, then you would tell them that community colleges that charge significantly less per credit hour should be allowing you to get bachelor's degrees. And you wouldn't have to take out so much in student loans. It's a reason why they try to limit community colleges to only being able to give you associate degrees, and then you got to transfer over to a major university after 2 years. Because they are not really trying to lower the cost of education. Student loans are subsidized by the federal government. College campuses want you to take out as much in student loans and to take out as many in credit hours and to spend as much money as you can on housing and to spend much money as you can inside of the student union, spending money because it all comes from the federal government, and then you got to pay it back, and you're going to pay more than triple once you do it because you was doing it out of ignorance, or you was doing it because you didn't realize that you was going to have to pay the piper later. Community colleges should have been offering 4-year degrees. Absolutely. Community colleges should have been offering 4-year degrees a long time ago. And the fact that California, which I have to give them some credit, I got to give them some credit. If this is the way that they're thinking, then there is still hope. There is still hope. I believe that community colleges should be offering 4-year degrees all day long. And if you want to go over to a major university that's esteemed, then you do so at your own risk, but you can't start blaming the whole system for the cost of your education and you taking out a bunch of student loans. One in Miami does. What college in Miami? What community college in Miami also offers a 4-year degree? Because the nursing program for Oakland Community College here be booming when it comes to nursing degrees. Like it is more competitive. It is 10 times more competitive to get into the nursing program for Oakland Community College here in Michigan than it is to get into any other college program or major degree program. They take that junk serious. They do not mess around. It is competitive as hell. Miami-Dade Community College, let's see. Let's see. Academic programs. In the United States, about 24 states currently authorize community colleges to offer 4-year bachelor's degrees. These programs are often called community college. Baccalaureate degrees are designed to provide affordable local access to high-demand careers in fields like nursing, teacher education, and applied technology. As of 2026, over 200 community colleges across the country offer at least one program totaling more than 700 distinct degree offerings nationwide. And then you got to go in the sheets. Florida, nearly all 28 colleges offer a BS in nursing, supervision, and management and education. Okay, so they do offer it, but it's only targeted to one particular degree. That's pretty good in Florida. That's dope. So why do people sit there and say that Miami-Dade College offer a BS in applied artificial intelligence and cybersecurity? Really? Wow. Yeah, it ain't no excuse. No excuse whatsoever. I'm tired of people making excuses and saying that, oh my God, I got to take out a bunch of student loans. So we just don't do the research and we just not informed as we should be. So we just not as informed. So we out here giving money over to these private colleges because we want to party, or you want to have it on, have it as a part of your background and saying, I went to here, and you just not as informed as you should be. Because I'm looking at it right here. Yeah, we got to stop making excuses. We got to stop running in the victim Olympics when it comes to being educated. It's so funny because when I was walking in here today, I was thinking to myself about how I'm looking to go back to school for architecture, because that's where my real passion is in architecture. Is that one day I want to focus most of my energy on architecture because I just love it so much. Shout out to my dog, Jason Gregory says, I'm trying to figure out why common sense has left half of the population. Because I don't know where they got the name common sense from. But common sense ain't common. Common sense has never been common. But I sold 5 mil. I ain't been rapping like common sense. Shout out to Jason Gregory. Derek Bibbins says, see you at the game. See me at what game? Should I leave the job for 50% increase with Ford? If you're getting a 50% increase, hell yeah, I'm getting up out of there. What you talking about? Yeah, I'm getting up out of there. What up, Cole? I just got back from Hawaii Monday. How'd you like it, big dog? And thank you for the 20 ball. How'd you like it? Let me see what's happening in these streets. I'll look up my stuff in a minute.